was leaked by somebody who was unhappy in the direction that the court was going. But the question is, which person on the court was moving and what direction were they moving? You see, the right-wing noise machine always churns into overdrive, always. And you saw that. By the way, I've just got to say, a compassionate abortion policy from Rick Scott, Lindsey Graham, and the Republican Party, when you have all of these states that are going to actually have no exceptions for rape, no exceptions for incest, no exceptions for the mental health of the mother. I mean, it's shocking. And they're talking about compassion. No, they always kick into overdrive whenever the subject of the U.S. Supreme Court comes into play, especially abortion. And they moved quickly to shift the blame for Monday's Supreme Court leak on those crazy people on the left. Those crazy people on the left. The Wall Street Journal editorial page suggested it was enraged Democrats leaking the document for political gain in November. What a plotting, nonsensical argument on so many levels. Wouldn't it actually be better if anybody actually knows how politics works at the Wall Street Journal editorial page, to let the opinion come out later, closer to the election, have the explosion? So the story's not about the leak. The story's actually about this radical decision. And it's later in the summer, it's closer to the elections, and it motivates people that much more. Of course, that makes perfect sense. But of course, there was nothing that made sense about right-wingers' argument yesterday. Other right-wing law professors actually bemoaned, you're going to love this, they bemoaned the crazy radicals that are being produced from elite Ivy schools like Yale. Does that law professor mean like the crazy law students and crazy undergrads who graduated from elite institutions who led an insurrection against the United States government on January 6th? Those crazy Ivy Leaguers? Or maybe it was J.D. Vance, a guy who spews conspiracy theories, stabs Ukraine in the back, and demands that the federal government seizes the assets of the Ford Foundation because they are insufficiently conservative. Of course not. They weakly blame liberal clerks on the court because of how radicalized Democrats have come over the last few years about the Supreme Court. Now, I want you to think about this. They actually, I don't know how they do this. I'll be honest with you. I know them. I was in the party for years. What was I thinking? But these people, these are the same people that stood and gave standing ovations to Ginny Thomas and Clarence Thomas. How quaint that Ginny Thomas's ideological brothers and sisters are delivering lectures on how the left wing has politicized the court. Can you believe that BS? Suggesting that the left would be more likely to leak the draft opinion because they don't respect the court or its rules. Oh, really? Like Clarence Thomas being involved in cases that directly impact his wife and her text messages? If only the left could show the restraint of Ginny and Clarence Thomas, Lindsey Graham, and the rest of the GOP. Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful world it would be. The plotting argument that Alito's majority had no reason to leak the court's decision assumes it was still the majority 3 months after it was written in February. It's more likely that somebody on the hard right was really pissed off that a justice moved away from Alito's really harsh right-wing diatribe on abortion and instead moved more towards Robert's way. It was a classic, hey, we've got the receipts, buddy. Don't even think about moving away from Alito and taking a more nuanced, reasonable path, because we have the receipts. And, you know, maybe that may be why the Chief Justice's statement started with a declaration that the leaked document, quote, does not represent a decision by the court or the final position of any member on the issues in this case. You know, to me, I could be wrong. Maybe Ted's right. Maybe I'm wrong. But if you're just looking at this in the most Machiavellian way possible? It makes far more sense that it was a fanatical law clerk on the right who leaked the document to stop one of the conservative members of the court from moving away from Alito's position and closer to Roberts' more nuanced path toward a still radical destination. But John Heilemann, you hear all of this rambling on from the far right yesterday. And, you know, when it first broke, I was like, okay, somebody's pissed off on the left. And then I actually stopped and thought for a second. I go, wait a second. That's not what's happening. I want to talk to John Lemire in a second because John and I had a discussion. We talked to people close to the court. And most court observers, people that follow the court and know how the court works, were telling John and me throughout the day, this looks like somebody was moving away from Alito's harsh position, and they were trying to be nailed down by holding up this February opinion going, look, it's done. This right-wing, turgid opinion on abortion, this is going to be the law of the land. Don't even think of moving away from this position. And so they leaked this at the same time the concurrences, which is the time period we're in now, the concurrences are supposed to start going around. And this is when John Roberts starts working on Kavanaugh. This is when John Roberts starts working on Amy Coney Barrett and says, listen, we're all conservatives here, but we also have to protect the institution, guys. Let's sit down and talk. What say you, John Heilemann, regarding my 15-second question?
A great question, Joe. Great question. Can you read it back to me again?
Yeah, sure.